Hello, and welcome to the latest installment of My Dad Listens to This. I'm Juliet the daughter.
And I'm Kevin the dad.
All right.
What have you picked for us this episode, Juliet?
Well, this week I picked an American classic. Guys, we're listening to Roy Orbison. Dad, take it away.
Okay, the album that Juliet picked was For the Lonely, 18 Greatest Hits by Roy Orbison. Roy Kelton Orbison was born April 23rd, 1936 in Vernon, Texas.
Kelton? Irish?
Kelton.
Anyway? Oh, okay.
After moving to Wink, Texas, he had poor eyesight as a child and used thick corrective lenses at an early age. Got his first guitar at age 6, and he said he was 7 when he knew he wanted to do music for the rest of his life. He got exposed to all kinds of music, but mostly country and western. In high school, he formed a band, the Wink Westerners. When they were offered $400 to play a dance, he knew he could make a living at music. He went to North Texas State College and majored in geology to secure a job in the oil fields, just in case music did not work out.
Smart. When
he heard one of his classmates, Pat Boone, of all people, got a record deal, he was more determined to be a musician. While in college, he heard the song Ooby Dooby and started performing it with the Wink Westerners. Johnny Cash appeared on the show with the band and told Roy to approach Sam Phillips at Sun Records. Roy did, and Sam told him, "Johnny Cash doesn't run my record company."
Oh, that's ominous.
The Wink Westerners changed their name to the Teen Kings and recorded Ooby Dooby for the Jewel label. After a local record store owner played the song over the phone, Sam Phillips offered the Teen Kings a contract. They re-recorded Ooby Dooby, which went to number 59 and sold 200,000 copies. They did a lot of touring and wrote more songs, but then the band broke up because of disputed writing credits and royalties. Roy stayed in Memphis and asked his 16-year-old girlfriend, Claudette Frady, to join him. They stayed at Sam Phillips' house, sleeping in separate rooms. How classy is that guy?
Like on old TV sitcoms where they sleep in separate beds.
I guess. He wrote the song Claudette, which the Everly Brothers recorded as a B-side for All I Have to Do Is Dream, and this enabled Roy to put a down payment on a catalog. Frustrated at Sun Records, he stopped performing and he quit performing. He stopped recording and quit performing for 7 months. Roy then wrote songs for the Acuff Rose, a songwriting firm concentrating on country music. He demoed songs for Wesley Rose, who would try to find artists to record them. Roy had married Claudette, and they had a son. They lived in a small apartment, so he would write songs in his car. One day, Joe Melson tapped on his car window and said they should write together. Roy recorded 7 songs for RCA Nashville, but they thought only 2 were worth releasing. Wesley Rose brought Orbison to the attention of Fred Foster at Monument Records. Fred Foster was the producer Roy had been waiting for. When Roy requested an orchestra for the song Uptown, he got one.
Nice.
Uptown went to number 72.
Ooh.
And Roy and Joe's next song, Only the Lonely Know How I Feel, went to number 2. And then the deluge, hit after hit after hit. By 1963, Roy's relationship with Joe Melson was deteriorating as Joe was trying to get his own career off the ground. Meantime, Roy had a second son and got the name The Big O while touring Australia in 1962. In 1963, he was touring with...
The Beatles!
Of course, who else?
Yeah, they said that Paul McCartney said that was the only act they didn't want to follow. Because you see Roy and you're like, oh my god, what the hell are we going to do?
He left his regular glasses on the plane, so he switched to his prescription Wayfarer sunglasses, which became his trademark. Even though this led people to think he was blind.
No, he's not blind. He's fine.
Roy got the Beatles gig by being asked to replace Duane Eddy on the tour. Roy asked, "What's a Beatle?" John Lennon tapped him on the shoulder and said, "I am." Roy, even though he was the biggest star, opened for the Fab Four. The boys had to stand backstage while Roy got 14 encores. They had to hold him backstage before he could go out for number 15.
Wow.
But they did all get along. Roy felt akin to John, but he would have a bigger friendship with George.
Wonder if John was jealous. Oh wait, John was dead.
Yeah.
Oops. Sorry.
Oh, way to go. The tour had an effect on his personal life. Claudette had an affair while Roy was touring.
God damn it.
Oh, she could not stand being alone.
Oh.
She did join him in Great Britain. He got a new songwriting partner, Bill Dees, with whom he wrote It's Over. When Claudette came in saying she needed money to get back to Nashville, Dees said, "A pretty woman never needs any money." 40 minutes later, Oh Pretty Woman was completed. It'd be his last number 1 and his last appearance on the charts for a long time. He and Claudette divorced in November 64, but reconciled and remarried in 65. He signed with MGM, and the hits stopped. He did make a movie for them, The Fastest Guitar Alive. In 66, Claudette died in a motorcycle accident when she and Roy were riding their bikes. She struck the door of a pickup that pulled out suddenly and died instantly.
Ow!
In 68, when Roy was touring England, he found out his house had burned down and his two oldest sons had died.
Holy shit!
His youngest son, Wesley, was sent to be raised by Roy's parents.
Aww.
Roy met Barbara Jacobs and they married in 1969. They had two sons, Roy Kelton and Alexander. His recording career got so that his albums were not even released in the United States. However, he did credit Linda Ronstadt's cover of Blue Bayou for reviving his memory in the public mind. In 1977, he had triple bypass surgery, but he kept on a-smoking. In 1980, Don McLean had a number 5 hit with a cover of Crying. In 1982, Van Halen got a hit with their cover of Oh Pretty Woman. In 1986, his song In Dreams was used in the David Lynch movie Blue Velvet, which at first Roy found disturbing, as did we all. But later, you should go on YouTube and watch the scene.
Something tells me sex is involved. No? Uh-oh.
But later he said he appreciated what Lynch did with the song. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1987 by Bruce Springsteen.
Of course.
And I'm going to do my worst Bruce Springsteen imitation ever.
Get ready, folks.
Because he said for Born to Run, I wanted to record words like Bob Dylan that sounded like Phil Spector. But most of all, I wanted to sing like Roy Orbison. Now everybody knows no one sings like Roy Orbison.
We might need subtitles for this part.
Yeah. They would team up on the Cinemax special Roy Orbison and Friends, A Night in Black and White. In 1988, Roy was working with Jeff Lynne on a new album. And Jeff had just completed producing Cloud 9 for George Harrison and asked Roy if he would sing on one of George's singles. So then they asked Bob Dylan if he could use their studio. Then George had to pick up one of his guitars from Tom Petty.
Yep, you can hear all this in our Traveling Wilburys episode.
We all know what happened next.
Yep.
Hazelwood Kid was written that night, and lo, the Traveling Wilburys were born. And Roy was back, and I got to put this in. He said that working with Jeff Lynne as producer, he said he was the best producer that he worked with, which is just mind-boggling, but he said he was just unbelievable.
That must be a real
So take that, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Snobs.
Yeah, my dad hates the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Should be the Rock and Roll Hall of Shame.
Oh, dear.
Okay, anyway, Roy was back. He had a new album, Mystery Girl, was in demand, and he was going to write his autobiography, and he wanted Martin Sheen to play him in a biopic.
That would have been awesome. I'd have watched that movie.
And then
he died.
He died.
Oh.
At only 52 years old.
Oh,
on December 6, 1988.
Wait, he was 52?
He was only 52.
God damn, this just goes to show smoking makes you look older, kids.
I guess. He is buried in Los Angeles in an unmarked grave.
What the hell? Why?
I have no idea.
Oh, God.
I'm sure his wife knows where he is.
And his family, but they probably want to keep it secret in case some
I guess
fan...
that could be. Okay, so the album is For the Lonely, 18 Greatest Hits, released in 1988 on Rhino Records, back when they were independent before they became Atlantic Records' exclusive reissue label. And it was mastered by the unbeatable team of Bill Inglot and Ken Perry. That means they took the tapes, made them sound really nice, got this nice full sound. I mean, this is back in 1988 when no one really cared about that kind of thing. Record companies were just spitting out CDs left and right. So, I mean, it's 31 years later, and this CD still sounds incredible.
Now, how'd you first... Go ahead. Keep
okay.
going.
Now, this is a concise and precise overview of Roy's career. And I think it has a great cover because that guitar looks about as big as Roy.
Are we still going to get a Roy Orbison movie at some point?
Like a bio?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh.
I like to think it probably would have happened back in the 80s.
Well, hey, the musical biopic is back.
Yeah, I know.
So
I think Martin Sheen's probably a little too old at this point to play Roy.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I just picked up the disc somehow. It was just like, oh yeah, this guy's supposed to be good. Yeah, I know some songs.
Is that how you found out about Roy?
Well, I mean, I'd heard his stuff before on the radio, and like, yeah, hey, this guy's pretty good. And it was probably around, this is probably after seeing bits and pieces of his Night in Black and White special.
Yeah, which we have on DVD.
Yeah.
All right.
Should watch again.
After this, absolutely. You ready?
Okay, so you want to go first?
Okay, so the reason I chose Roy was because I wanted to do an American artist again, and I wanted to do another classic American artist, and I've always admired Roy for his voice.
She's got a Wilbury thing going on, folks.
Actually, that wasn't intentional. I was just like, okay, let's do the Wilburys. All right, we do some Beatles stuff.
So far we've done 2 of them. We've done George and Roy.
Maybe the next one will be Tom. Get the dead ones.
Ooh.
I don't know, man. I don't
Save
know.
the live ones for last.
Hey, it's just whatever we feel like. But I know their next album will be in tribute to someone who died recently, so you could probably figure that out. Okay, let's go. First song, Ooby Dooby. So I'm not going to be that jerk who tries to decode what ooby dooby means because, well, rock and roll has plenty of nonsense words that don't make sense. Roy's voice hasn't developed into that powerful vibrato that I know is coming later, but where he does grab your attention is with the guitar. When he plays those short instrumentals, you find yourself filling in the space where the lyrics should be in your head. It's a cute teeny bopper song, only about 2 minutes and cute for dancing. Also, I believe this is the song Zefram Cochrane drunk danced to in Star Trek First Contact. So how's that legacy, Roy? A drunk fake douchebag scientist danced to your song once? Well, a fake scientist that changed fake space exploration forever, but whatever.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Okay, Ooby Dooby was released on Sun Records, and this was his first hit. And it's a good tune, and yes, I also am going to associate this with Star Trek.
Yep.
Because of the First Contact movie. But it's good to know that music like this is still around in 2063 when Zefram Cochrane plays it on the jukebox.
Yep.
And if I survive to 2063, I will be 100 years old. And probably senile as all get out.
So hopefully you'll be
I'll be
alive
just
for First
going,
Contact.
Ooby Dooby, Ooby Dooby, Scooby Dooby Ooby. But anyway, you listen to this song and you kind of realize, yeah, this really isn't exactly Roy's forte, but, he was with Sun. He got signed to a sort of big record label at the time, and, it's what he had to do to pay the bills.
Yeah.
Not a bad song, though,
No.
but it's just not his style.
Also, why does your old man voice sound like Rick from Big Mouth?
I don't know.
Next song, Rockhouse. This song starts with one of my favorite sounds in old rock albums, and that's the sound of a bare-bones set of drums just doing their thing. Now, I sure am on a Star Trek kick, because in this song, Roy's singing sounds like Data with a southern accent.
Oh my God, it does.
Right? Doesn't it? All I could think of was that episode where they're in the holodeck in that western, and Data gets that accent because it's messing with his programming.
Oh my God, it does.
You're welcome.
Wow.
You're never going to listen to this the same way again.
Nope.
What I like most about this song is Roy saying no trouble, no booze. Because in the music business, that seems a bit ironic, because there are decades of artists who turn to booze and drugs for comfort. However, Roy's having none of that, saying that music is the only escape you need that will truly make you feel better.
Well, he is the android.
And it's still the early days of rock and roll, so the darkness hasn't crept in yet. It's just everyone having a lighthearted good time.
Yeah, again, it's another Sun single. It's at the, not exactly dawn of rock and roll, but maybe the sun's come up just a little bit over the horizon. And, it's a good song, nothing spectacular. And the thing is, Sam Phillips and producer Jack Clement refused to think of Roy as a ballad singer.
Why?
I don't know. It's Roy, but his voice has yet to have been fully unleashed, and that would take 4 more years in 1960. But, thanks to you, I will always associate this song with Western Data, which I appreciate, because I always thought Rockhouse, yeah, it's a good song, nothing bad, but you listen to it and you think, yeah, Elvis could have done it, Johnny could have done it, Jerry, Carl, anyone in the Sun stable could have done this song.
Third song, Uptown. Is it sad that the first thing I think of with the title is Uptown Girl by Billy Joel?
Yes, it is.
Alright, I know you hate that song, but I like it, and I think it's because my generation didn't have it overplayed on the radio. But when you listen to this song, it's clear that Billy Joel ripped this song off, and Roy's version is far superior. You could tell this song is when he became Roy Orbison. The backup singers just add to the richness of the musical arrangement, and I love the premise of the bellhop knowing one day he's going to be rich and get the rich girl. And the best touch is the drums emphasizing each syllable of ever lovin' honey.
Ooh, I wrote that too.
Oh, this song is Roy Orbison. He's here to stay, and boy, am I glad.
Well, this is his first Monument single, which is why it sounds different from the previous 2 songs. And seeds are being planted. Production's much more expansive. with the sax and the strings and the chorus. But it's an almost typical I'm going to be a big man in a big town someday kind of song. And the bellboy part reminds me of Bellboy by The Who. I got to get running now. He's got no time. He's got to keep working.
Like Bellboy, yeah.
And yeah, same thing. I like the drama when the music emphasizes my ever loving honey. For some reason, he's like emphasizing, oh yeah, she's gonna be it. I'm gonna be running this town. She's gonna be by my side. Life is good.
And I won't have to pick up anyone's suitcases anymore.
Yeah, he'll be saying, hey you, bags upstairs now.
Hopefully he'll be a little more polite about it, not forgetting where he came from.
Igor, will you take the bags? You take the blonde, and I'll take the one with the Toyman.
What was I going to say? Oh yeah, with this song you also realize that Sam Phillips of Sun Records could only get people so far, and he kind of really didn't know what to do with the singers, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because
to a certain extent.
Yeah, I mean, it happened with Elvis, it happened with Johnny Cash, Roy. The only ones that it kind of didn't happen to were Carl Perkins
And Jerry Lee.
But eventually, they both left Sun.
I remember I told one of my friends that Jerry Lee was still alive, and he just, got all freaked out. And I'm like, yep, he's sitting in the Louisiana Bayou rotting somewhere, getting on with his cousin.
Probably. Anyway.
Back to Roy. Next song. Only the Lonely Know How I Feel. I know the song is supposed to be about the sadness of a broken heart, but I feel slightly less alone knowing that even a guy like Roy has been through the same thing. I know he's a guitarist, but his best instrument is his voice. Seriously, most vocalists in musical theater or opera take years to master the high notes Roy hits with proper technique, and this song, they just sail out of him into the air. He makes it look so easy, but I bet he had to do a lot of work too. His voice really pairs well with the orchestra, and I love when the strings continue to have their notes sharply increase in pitch. Again, the backup singers are used the right amount, and they add to the richness and catchiness of the song. Another awesome one, but I'd like to add that maybe Roy wouldn't have done these studio sessions if Buddy Holly hadn't been the one to do them first.
What do you mean?
When Buddy was doing, It Doesn't Matter Anymore, True Love Ways, wasn't he kind of like the first rock artist to kind of do that?
That's a good question. Possibly. Yeah, because Only the Lonely was 1960, so it's a good possibility.
Set the precedent.
But yeah, I look at it as the voice is unleashed.
Yep.
Finally. And it's almost operatic when he hits the note for you in You Got to Take. And no one was singing like this at all. And it was just like, holy crap. And I mean, and no one suspects a thing with the dum dum doobie doo wah that starts the song. And when he gets to Maybe Tomorrow, it just builds and builds to that note about You Got to Take.
And then you faint.
And the thing is and everyone can relate to this song at one point or another in their lives. It's universal.
Next song, Blue Angel. Not my favorite song, but I am not over that note that Roy hits at the end and the perfect dissonance of the chords behind it. Holy moly. I think the message of the song is sweet, but I didn't take it that way at first. Because at first, to me, it kind of seemed like a real dick move to, slide in with this girl when she's heartbroken and try to make a move. But that's not what the song is about, if you listen to it further. It's really about the guy you never saw before coming in and taking care of you, reassuring you that he does love you and will treat you right. Not my favorite compared to the previous two, but wow, what a voice.
Yeah, it's not a bad song. The title always reminds me of the movie of the same name with Marlene Dietrich, which is completely different topic from...
How old was she? Wait, what year was that movie?
Oh my god, this had to be the 30s, early 30s.
Oh, okay, so it's an old movie. Okay.
Yeah. Completely different theme from this song. And the thing about this song is, it's not a bad song, but I always found the sha-la-la, doobie-wah, bum-bum-bum, yip-yip-bum intrusive. It's kind of like, well, it worked for Only the Lonely. Let's see if we can, And Roy does get a few chances to let his voice soar, as you said. I mean, I like the song. I don't love it, but it's not a bad song.
No, not bad at all. But there are better ones on this album.
And we're going to get to them.
Oh yeah, next song, I'm Hurtin'. A bit too schmaltzy for my taste. I think that what throws it off for me is the dum-dee-dum-dee-dum, ooh yeah yeah. It sounds a bit too happy compared to the other sorrowful songs. Roy's crying, and they're the friends that are trying to cheer him up but being rather inappropriate about it. Also, when this song started, his vibrato sounded a little too similar to Elvis, so maybe that's what threw me for a loop. But goddammit, Roy makes those vocal slides sound so easy, and whoever was producing in the studio knew how to record his voice to give it that distinct echo. So, good job to whoever was recording this.
Would be Fred Foster. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's another Dumby-Dum song, and like I said, I think they were going to milk Only the Lonely formula.
Yeah.
And, to me, it does kind of sort of sound like Only the Lonely.
Yeah, I think I'm getting tired of, the background singers with the dum-dee-dum and the boot, whatever.
And I think they kind of realized, we kind of don't need those kind of background vocals. I mean, he still had background vocalists, but I think they realized, we don't have to keep falling back on this, because Roy's got the voice, and people are just going to, focus in on that.
It's fine. It's like, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Next song, Runnin' Scared. Whoever orchestrated the music for this was a genius. First of all, the song starts off with a slow melancholy and then slowly begins to crescendo in volume, so you really feel how Roy is intimidated by the ghost of this ex-boyfriend. I mean, a lot of people have encountered that fear of, if our partner had to make a choice between us and a previous partner, who would they pick? That little doubting Thomas in the back of our heads. Mm-hmm. Then the terror increases and increases with Roy's fear, and the backup singers sound like ghosts freaking him out, like the voice in his head saying, "Beware, he will come back." And then at the end of the song, the music, it's still building, but it effortlessly shifts to a moment of happy triumph that Roy got the girl with an operatic ending. Yep. And you're like, yay! This song doesn't drag on and on. It tells the story, and Roy sounds like a triumphant opera tenor. This song is pure genius, man.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this song just builds and builds and builds, and it's an instrument at a time, if you notice the way that it's constructed.
Layering it. If this was an opera, this would be the moment where everybody throws the roses on the stage and the standing ovation. It's like, yay! We have a moment of catharsis!
And it's great drama and paranoia, but like you said, it ends well. And the thing is, Roy said he tried to base this on Ravel's Bolero, just the way the music... do 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 do. It's a classic song.
Okay.
It's a classical music song.
Oh, okay.
I've got it. You can check on iTunes. I've got the song. The first two takes, Roy went falsetto on the last note, but on take 3 he went for it, and when he hit the high A at the end, the musicians were so stunned that they stopped playing.
Wow. Awesome.
They were just in awe.
Well, because for men, it's not easy to hit high notes without your falsetto and, do it naturally in your head voice. So that must have taken a lot of, he must have had to take a real friggin' deep breath in order to hit that note.
I guess, but yeah, it's just a great song. And it gives, like the way the arrangement is, it gives that sense of paranoia, and it gives that sense of, running scared,
oh my God, he's coming, I gotta run and hide.
That guy's gonna come back, and who are you gonna pick? And that's... Me? You pick me?
Yay!
Oh my God! Happy ending.
That was great. Okay, next song, Crying. Now I remember this from our copy of the Black and White Night on DVD, with Bruce Springsteen getting to play as a backup musician and looking at Roy like a complete fanboy who couldn't believe he was sitting with his idol. He's just sitting dazed the whole time. It's oh my God, I'm really here. This song really blurs the lines between opera and rock for me, especially with how Roy is able to stay on that high note at the end. I really want to punch the lights out of that girl who thought she could waltz back into Roy's life and just say a platonic hi after he was so deeply invested in her. Jeez, what a dick move. It is! That's a horrible thing to do to someone. But it's a sucky...
Well, it's
a sucky thing to feel. You thought you were over this person, then they come back and all the old feelings are brought back up and you just want to sob in the corner for a while. The difference is, Roy hasn't gotten over this person and probably never will. It's an operatic tragedy, and I can't say that the character Roy sings will find someone again because he was in deep. Hopefully time will be good to him, and maybe that girl will not learn to play with Roy's heart in that way ever again.
Yeah, but I think it's just a coincidental run-in. I mean, it's when I saw you last night, you had my hand so tight when you stopped and said hello. It's just hey, how you doing? And, it's he's just, crumbling inside, it meant more to him than
it did to her.
But, I mean, I'm sure that's happened to everyone. And is this the saddest song in the world? Probably is.
There's some other weepers out there.
And I think it's, beautiful arrangement, and it's, this gorgeous, understated singing. mostly until that build up at the end, because it's a Roy song. It is going to build at the end. But yeah, I was just surprised at how oh, what's the word I want to, restrained he almost is through most of it.
Maybe it's because, like, you know, on the inside he's a weeping mess, but on the outside he's, like, desperately trying to keep it together.
Yeah.
Keep up the show.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. Okay, next song. Candyman. This song is a bit too corny for me. The good thing about it is that because this song is a cover, Roy is able to adapt his voice to the tone of the song, giving it an extra southern twang. Other than that, I thought this song was a bit too much of a departure for him, and there are so many better songs that compare a girl to candy, like I Want Candy and Sugar Sugar. However, the tone of the song, for some reason, reminded me of Bo Diddley, and I do think it would be interesting to see how he would have handled this song, because it seems better suited for Bo's voice and performance style.
Well, you know, I really like this song because it's like, you know, the Big O could swagger when he wanted, and God knew he needed the break after the last few songs.
Yeah, but did we have to have this song?
Well, I mean, it's okay. Lyric wise, it is throwback to the Sun years.
It's pretty dumb.
But the arrangement is anything but, and I think the arrangement swaggers too. And it's just like
lyrics,
it's like.
Man.
I think maybe he just wanted to do something different of like, okay, I've done all these really dramatic songs, and, you know, I want to do something fun, like, you know, hey, I'm Roy Orbison. Excuse me, I mean, you know?
Oh, we'll get to that.
Oh, yeah, we will. But, yeah, I really like this song, and I think, I mean, it's like, you know, after the Roy, the last few songs, this one, he's got confidence. He's like, you know, we're seeing a happy, confident Roy. He's just full of swagger, and he's just strutting down the street and like, I'm your
Mother effing Roy Orbison,
and I am your Candyman. Man.
Also, when I read the title, all I could think of was Candyman from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I'm like doing the math in my head. I'm like, no, that movie hadn't come out yet. He wouldn't be doing a cover of that song yet. And wasn't Sammy Davis more famous for the cover of that song? I was like, huh.
Yeah, but I mean, me being a well, not exactly a child of the '80s, but a teen of the '80s. Well, Candyman, like, okay, yeah, I got your coke, I got your heroin. What do you want? I'm your Candyman.
Oh, so that's how you interpreted it that way?
Well, I mean, this was also in the early '60s, so no, this is definitely going to be Candy.
Okay.
He's got something sweet for her to.
Let's not finish that
sentence.
Let's not finish that
thought. Getting a little too big mouth there.
Yeah.
Anyway, next song, yep.
Dream Baby, How Long Must I Dream? A little too saccharine sweet for me. The premise is a fun one. Unrequited love who wants his fantasies to become real. But the lyrics are too repetitive, and I feel like the backup singers could have dialed it back, because this time they weren't enriching the song, they were taking the focus off of Roy. A little too hokey, and not much else to say beyond that.
Oh, come on. If you notice, this is another song that builds up an instrument at a time, but it's not like the drama of Running Scared. And the elusive Dream Baby shows up in a lot of songs. There's so many songs out there about the dream guy or the dream girl, and you're just dreaming about them and what happens when you dream. Because
wake up.
Because Andrew Globerman knows a lot about the Dream Baby. Am I right? Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
We're gonna clear more cookies than a fat kid at a birthday party. Sorry, we've been watching way too much Big Mouth. It's such a good show. Oh, man.
Well, it does seem kind of appropriate for this song, but he's like, you know, how long must I dream? When is this going to be real? Why is my hand gooey? You know?
Look at that clock and pretend it's your dad's secretary.
See, there you go. That's the Dream Baby.
Yeah. Oh, man. We have a few coworkers who like watching Big Mouth, too, so maybe we'll send this to them, because, oh, man. All right. Oh, we're morally depraved.
Next song.
Sorry,
Next song,
Roy.
please.
Yeah.
Next song, please.
Is it Leia or Leah?
Well, I was going to say, you know, somewhere Roy's just going, Mercy. Leah.
Okay, Leah.
Well, didn't you listen to the song, right?
Yeah, but it's like he says Leah, but it's spelled like Leia. So I just wanted to make sure.
No, Leia is Leia. This is Leah.
Oh, okay. Sorry. People spell names differently and pronounce them differently. All right.
You're thinking of Star Wars, Leia.
Yeah, I am. Another Tropical Paradise song. I love the premise of this song, but the parts where he dove for the beautiful pearls and then everything went wrong reminded me of The Pearl by John Steinbeck.
Yes!
Which didn't have a happy ending either. It's really sweet, though, that he wanted to make something with his hands to show he loved her and decided to get the best pearls from the bottom of the sea to place around her neck. I mean, come on, it's a rather romantic image. And once again, we have a song with a strong closer where Roy's voice hits an operatic high and the music swells to match his voice in a beautiful way. If you haven't read The Pearl by John Steinbeck, ooh, get that book in a box of tissues. You're gonna be depressed and have a case of the sads.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking the same thing as where does that sound?
I was like, oh, what was the guy's name, the main character? Starts with a K, right? Not Kyoko, Kyoko. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do. I've only read the story 87 times, and I can't remember the guy's name.
We're not gonna get it now. Anyway.
Kinu?
Someone tell us in the comments, please.
I'll look at it later. Yeah, anyway, we're at Leah. Okay, I love this song. I love it. And yeah, to me, it's just always very Hawaiian.
Yeah.
With that arrangement.
Reminds me of Melakaliki Maka.
And I love the smooth background vocals.
Mm-hmm.
And the story, it's just, this sad ending, wakes up. And it gets very dramatic, though, where it's like, oh, my leg's caught. And what the... I'm awake. And I'm alone. Better I drowned in that dream, man. And I just love how they closes with the yearning of Hey Leah at the end, where it just shoots right up there.
It's gonna fall asleep again, and it's gonna happen over and over and over.
Yep.
Next song, Working for the Man. No, that was like a good, oh my god, I love this song so much. So far, this song is so different from all the other ones on the album. First, the opening of the thump and the male vocal parts perfectly capture the intensity of the subject matter. It made me think of men working in the coal mine in West Virginia or the stories of John Henry working on the railroads with his hammer. For some reason, I thought I was listening to a track from Broadway cast recording, the way the voices layered perfectly over one another and told a story. At the end of the song, you realize that Roy is a cunning son of a bitch because he has a plan to get out of this sucky job. However, you do get the feeling he fell for the girl first and came up with a plan to marry the boss's daughter to gain control after. Awesome song.
I mean, I hear this song, and it's almost like a cinematic arrangement, if that makes sense. It's like this very wide arrangement. And yeah, just the way he starts it off with, that speech at the beginning, it kind of reminds me of Cool Hand Luke. But they were working on a chain gang, and I don't think these guys are.
I still haven't seen that movie. I want to.
And it's like you can just picture Roy and the guys just busting their butts for the man. And my favorite line is, I ought to kill him, but it wouldn't be right. Yeah. One, because he wants the boss's daughter, and, if you kill her father, you're going to be in jail. Plus, the other thing is, he knows someday he'll be the man, and, then the workers could be hating on him. And yeah, someone might want to kill me someday, so I better not set a precedent.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love this. I love this song.
Good.
It is. It's just a big Panavision CinemaScope song.
Yeah.
This song was done in Cinerama.
He's got a plan, and he's gonna do it. Next song, In Dreams. I feel like this song is just a different version of Leah, but this time I can't tell if the girl left because she broke up with Roy or because she died. The lines are blurred because at times the lyrics could be seen as Roy being consumed by grief. Not too much to say about this song since I've heard the story of it before in a previous track, but once again he hits a redonkulous high note and sustains it somehow. He does have a little bit of trouble going back down due to how high it is, but damn it, I can't fault him for attempting something most of us can't.
It's almost kind of stalkerish. In dreams I walk with you, in dreams you are mine.
Ugh.
But not in real life.
Oh, God.
But this song reminds me of two things. And one is Dean Stockwell's scene in Blue Velvet, which is just flat out disturbing. Check it out on YouTube.
Oh, wait, wasn't Dennis Hopper in that movie?
Yes, he was.
Oh, didn't he get off on murdering women or something?
You need to watch the movie.
Ugh.
But yeah, he's in the scene also, and you've got to see it. It's on YouTube. You can check out the whole thing. The second thing it reminds me of is Mike C. singing this on the bus back from New York City when we went to the Twin Towers back in the early 90s. It was me, Mike, I want to say, I think Dave and Elaine were there, and probably probably Chris Charpentier. And on the ride back from New York on the bus, is saying, "Hey, let's have a sing-along. Anyone know some songs?" So me being me, I picked out the Flintstones theme because of trains, planes, and automobiles.
Like in the episode of The Office where they're all singing it.
Yes,
in the after credits.
That's where that comes from. And then Mike comes out with "In Dreams." And
did he hit the note?
I can't remember. I've tried to block it out. This was as disturbing as the Blue Velvet scene. And
my God.
Just hearing the phrase, "a candy-colored clown they call a Sandman," sets me off to Disturbia.
So you get triggered by it.
Yeah, because the first thing I think of is Mike doing that phrase, saying that phrase on the bus.
You realize he's probably going to listen to this, right?
Hi, Mike. He's probably going to say, "I don't remember that."
Oh, but you do. It's burning.
I will take it with me to the grave. And yeah, again, Roy can have her in his dreams, but not in real life.
And I was about to say, you can't really take it to your grave because now it's on the internet forever.
Yeah, that's true. Sorry, internet. Sorry, I don't mean to be socially sharing. I'm more of an anti-social media type of person.
Yeah, he tried it for a while. It didn't work out.
Yeah, so if you want to look at my Facebook page, don't have it. You want to look at my Instagram, don't have it. Twitter, don't have it.
That's why you got me!
Yep.
Next song, Mean Woman Blues. This isn't about a woman being mean in an abusive way. This is about a woman being mean in a sexual teasing way that's just driving Roy nuts. I could have made a joke, but I'm not gonna. Which I've never pictured Roy that way before, because to me, Roy is like a wise old grandpa in a rocking chair. The only part
Oh.
well, no, that's because the Traveling Wilburys music video where he's at the train station, he's sitting in the rocking chair like all happy-go-lucky. And the Handle with Care music video, he's just sitting in his rocking chair enjoying life, waiting for the train, like, oh, life is good.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't mean that to, like, you know...
The guy was only, 51 or 52 when you've grandpa'd him.
Hey, he looked old. I didn't know how old he was in that video.
Maybe he was a grandfather at that time.
I don't know, but the smoking made him look old. The only part of this song that doesn't work well is the sha-la-las because it's too hip and swinging for me. What does work immensely well is the guitar solo, just in case you forgot that the man could play electric guitar. And also, this is the first song where Roy does his tongue trill that never ceases to make me uncomfortable and amazed at the same time due to its unique sound. So I guess we can credit this song with giving birth to a legendary vocal effect.
Mm-hmm. And this is definitely a Sun Records throwback, but it's more built up. And if she's almost as mean as Roy, that's not too mean, because you just can't imagine Roy ever being mean. I mean, I'm sure he probably had his moments, but he always came across as a humble guy.
Yeah.
And he was so humble that when they asked him about, you know, being in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, he said, being a living legend's great, but, that doesn't help you when you have to change a flat tire.
Oh, he's right about that.
Yeah.
Although maybe someone would be like, "Hey, Roy Orbison, you have a flat? Oh, help! I'll call a tow truck."
Like Roy couldn't call a tow truck by himself?
Well, cell phones weren't around back then, so maybe he'd have to have someone drive to the
Well,
phone.
no, they had like those humongous ones that were
car
like...
phones?
Yeah. He could have had one.
True.
Oh, we don't know. Anyway, getting back on track. Yeah, this was definitely a Sun Records song. I mean, I've got Jerry Lee Lewis's version of this as well, and hearing Jerry Lee sing it, you can absolutely believe it. That he's mean, and hopefully one of his women was mean enough to put him in his place, though I doubt she was never born or never existed as of yet. Probably the only woman that'll put Jerry Lee in his place is the female mortician. You never know.
Probably.
Anyway, but yes, Roy does release the tiger growl, and Mercer. Oh, yeah. That became...
Yeah, that always freaks me out whenever I hear it, just because it feels right in you, and you're like, oh, okay, right, I need some space.
Yep, and Jerry Lee Lewis does it on his version too, and he does a pretty decent job. But it's like, which came first? Which version came first? I don't know. I would have to do some research. But yeah, I like this song. It's a good song, but Roy, you're too nice. Come on. If it was Nice Woman Blues,
Then, yeah. Next song, Blue Bayou. This song reminds me of the feeling you have when you've saved up some vacation time and you're going to go on a vacation soon, but you just have to go through the last days of work to get there, and it sucks. Roy captures the wistfulness of wanting to go back to your happy place while working your butt off for it. But he also captures the joy of finally being able to let go and relax. He also captures the best part of when you finally get there and just resettle into the peace and quiet of a nice escape, which for Roy is a southern bayou, because sometimes the great outdoors can be all you need. Short, sweet, and to the point, but not particularly memorable.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's face it. I mean, this doesn't apply to you, but most of us, like people my age, heard Linda Ronstadt's version before Roy's.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I did, and I will always think of this as her song.
Mm-hmm.
She did a great job, especially bringing out the longing to be in Blue Bayou.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, this is Roy's album, and it's his song, and it's good, but I love Linda's version better, which is probably sacrilege, but I don't care. She slowed it down a little more than Roy's version, and she really brings out the yearning.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, like you said, it's yeah, you know, you're saving nickels, saving dimes, and you're just trying to get to this place. You've got 50 weeks of just doing some dead end job,
Mm-hmm.
and you've got these 2 weeks in Blue Bayou, and you just cannot wait to get there.
Yeah. Next song, Pretty Paper. Right? I guess this is Roy's attempt at a Christmas song, but oh god, what a downer. It's a really sad image for the most wonderful time of the year, because I actually think it's the most wonderful time of the year because I love Christmas. But, hey, I don't start celebrating it until the day after Thanksgiving on Black Friday,
Which
okay?
I appreciate.
Thank you. But it's a constant struggle to get there. Anyway, so yeah, it's a really sad image for the most wonderful time of the year, how this one guy doesn't have anyone to buy a Christmas present for. It's like I'll have a blue Christmas without you with less schmaltz and an extra helping of sad. I think if radio stations played this song with people driving in their cars, they'd be sobbing as the snow fell outside. At this point, I was listening to this song really late at night, and so I typed in my notes, "Damn, I'm getting bummed out. When's Pretty Woman coming on?" I was just like, oh!
This was written by Willie Nelson.
Willie, why? What happened? Who hurt that poor man?
I don't know. And I think this is the only Christmas song that can make anyone feel guilty for celebrating the season.
Yeah.
Because, you know...
Some people don't have family on Christmas.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, you see that guy is looking for money, and it's like, you know, should I stop? Better not, much too busy. It's like, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think since it's like the most depressing Christmas song in the world...
That's why we don't hear it.
Yeah, I was going to say, probably why you don't hear it much during the season, if at all.
If some DJ does plays it, it's probably because they feel alone too and want everyone else to suffer with them.
It's some DJ with a bottle of whiskey alone on Christmas Eve.
And they're rotting like Santa
Just
Claus beard,
getting hammered.
stringy.
Yep, they're working like the midnight shift when no one's listening at all and no one cares.
Mm-hmm. You can play all the dark Christmas songs, which there aren't too many of.
You know, when I downloaded this onto my iPod, this album, this was the only song I left off. One, because it's a Christmas song, and two, because it's a Christmas song, and three, because I just don't have a lot of Christmas on my iPod. Yeah, it is. It is definitely sad and depressing, and maybe that's why Roy sang it, because you know he could put it across.
Yeah.
With that voice, because you can't imagine like anyone else singing it.
So it makes me ask the question, would it be entirely bad if this song didn't exist? Like, would we be missing out on something?
Possibly. Just like, you know, let's give a moment for those less fortunate than us, shall we?
It's like
Thank you.
It's like Here's to Losers, but again with less schmaltz and an extra helping of sad.
And just put a little money in that Salvation Army pot when you're walking by.
Or maybe not, because they donate to anti-LGBTQ causes, so be careful.
Really? The Salvation Army?
Yeah, they're not.
Oh, I thought they were just taking care of like the indigent and the less fortunate. I assume that's where that money was going.
Some investigative reports came out like last Christmas. It wasn't good.
Oh, okay. Let's move on, shall we?
Go spend your Christmas at a homeless shelter at a soup kitchen, or donating your fuzzy Christmas sweaters to Savers if you want to make a difference in the holiday season, or bake cookies, or volunteer.
Well, that's why I assumed what the Salvation Army was like the kitchens or the homeless shelter, like the one down the street from Whole Foods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's not get too into this, because then I'm gonna get even more
Well, anyway,
sad.
make sure you put those pennies and quarters in the pot, so that way you've bought off your guilt.
God. All right, next song.
You've sold your guilt.
Next song. It's Over.
It is.
No, it's not. We got one more song.
I know.
Yeah, But also I pictured, like, Strong Bad saying this with, like, his,
It's over!
Yeah, what cartoon was that? High School Girls Gone Wild or something?
Teenage Girl Squad.
Teenage Girl Squad, yeah, how he said at the end, it's over! Okay. At this point, I was really done with the depressing songs. What I am curious about this song, though, is Roy talking to someone else? Or is it the little voice inside his head talking to him like Mirror Missy and Big Mouth?
Oh, well, I always thought this was... Okay, go ahead.
It's just really sad, and I don't want Roy to be sad anymore. His voice is still powerful, but damn, I could really use his voice for a happy song right now.
Well, I always looked at it as, this time it's happening to you. It's not happening to Roy. How you like that, huh?
How you like them apples?
Yeah. And, yeah, it's a really depressing song. And to me, it's almost Sinatra-esque. Where Frank had some of those songs where it's like, you did this and this happened to you and what have you. But it's definitely a lot more dramatic.
Yeah.
And this also probably caused an increase in alcohol sales. You're like, oh God, this is happening to me. This did happen to me. Oh my God, I'm so depressed.
It's like that vine. And just remember, no one will ever hate you as much as you already hate yourself.
Yeah, pretty much. And if Roy was smart, he probably, bought stock in every liquor company that was on the NYSE.
And that a wealthy, wealthy man. Last song, Pretty Woman. What makes this song great? I'll break it down for you.
Yes, please.
First, the drums set up the tempo of the song, and instantly you're tapping your foot. Second, the guitar riff is catchy and is able to play off the tempo of the drums. Third, Roy does his signature tongue trill, which fits really well with his song. Fourth, he utters his catchy phrase, Mercy, which is kind of the sweetest cat call for a girl I've ever heard, and also very much a Roy thing to say. Fifth, it's easy to harmonize to, because there are only 2 vocal parts, so it's easy to sing along with. Sixth, the music is able to capture the moment when Roy stops and realizes the woman is walking back towards him, but having the music stop with just the drums and then building along with his excitement. It also has that moment that I guess in opera you would consider a recitative, where it's basic dialogue, but it's still set to music with his own percussive beat, like, wait, what can this be? Is she walking back to me? Yeah, this song is a classic, and if you don't like it, I will fight you.
One hand tied behind her back, and she will beat you.
Kick you in the nuts.
Oh! Yeah, this is his most famous song. It's got swagger and mercy and the growl again. And women dig the growl. Trust me on that one.
La 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 la! Oh, God damn it, I did not need to know that.
And, as always, well, not always, but it does have the unexpected happy ending. It's like, wait, she's walking, but wait, what do I see? Is she walking back to me? Yeah, she's walking back to me. Mercy. Just don't blow it, son. Just don't blow it. And the interesting thing was, like, Roy, when I was doing my research, Roy said he would say mercy when he forgot the words. Like, mercy. Okay, that fills in some words right there.
So maybe he actually forgot a word, and they were like, you know what, that works, let's keep it.
And then, allegedly, that was the cursiest curse word he ever used.
Yeah. Also,
I have much to learn from him.
And also, everyone pretty much knows this song because of the movie Pretty Woman with Julia Roberts and Richard Gere.
I saw like 2 minutes of that movie on cable or something and thought, oh my God.
My mom wants Julia Roberts' dress.
No one ever went broke underestimating the taste of the American public, or overestimating. It's one of those.
It's not a realistic movie. Like, Mom told me about the premise, and I'm like, oh, that would never happen. I still want to watch it, but I'm like, this would never happen in a million years.
Well, I remember Newsweek did this article about, hey kids, this is what it's really like to be a whore. And oh my God, it was like these women would just, ugh.
They made it a musical recently.
So remember there, young teens, as a career choice, not what you want to be doing.
Oh, please no. Please no.
But anyway, the song itself, great song.
Yep.
Unfortunately, it's tied to that movie for some people.
Hey, but it's good for Roy. That's how people remember Roy. You know.
Yep. I'm assuming that movie came out after he died. I can't remember.
I think it was in the 80s.
Yeah, he died in 88, and maybe it came out a little before or after. I'm not sure.
So we won't know if he was alive when he thought of it.
Anyway, all in all, this is a solid collection.
Yep.
And the Big O had such a great, dramatic, operatic voice. And as you've heard, he could sing anything. Rockabilly, ballads, rock and roll. Mm-hmm. A voice for all seasons.
Yep.
And there are a lot of Roy collections out there. Somewhere he remade his hits. Ugh. In Dreams, I'm Looking at You. There's a collection called In Dreams that he did for Virgin Records, which is like remakes of all the big hits.
I like what Sinatra did all the time.
Yeah, but these are the originals, and they are the best.
Okay. Overall, this is a great album that everyone should listen to. It will give you a new appreciation for Roy because you will realize that the man was so much more than just Pretty Woman. He had a voice that could have been used in opera and only been heard by, a niche audience who listens to opera constantly, but he gave it to rock and roll, and we have some of the most beautiful early rock vocals ever recorded. Not every song is great, but you will appreciate the man and how cool he was by the end of this. There's only one Roy Orbison, and by God are we glad that we live in the universe where we get to listen to this music. And also, if you're a Springsteen fan, then you should check out The Boss's Idol, because he probably would want you to. Everyone should have a bit of Roy in their life, and I'm glad I have a little bit of it in mine.
Aw.
All right. So as always, thank you for listening to another episode of My Dad Listens to This. If you want to know when our newest episodes come out, subscribe to our YouTube channel, tap the bell for notifications if you would like, or if you follow me on Facebook and Twitter, I upload the episodes there, or if you know my dad and you want to listen to the episode, I'll have him email it to you. If you like this video, please give it a like. If you didn't like this video, then too bad for you. We're still making these. And if you want to let us know something, then by all means, please type a comment below, and we will be back with another album to nitpick and gripe about.
Mercy, and good night.
Good night.